Hey everyone, today we're going to go over our new crossover or XOver pole system. So what is the XOver? The XOver is a pole that is designed to go from season to season back to the original season, if that makes sense. So winter to summer, back to winter. One gear all year, as we've been saying. So everything that we design, we try to just problem solve. We don't want our customers to have to buy multiples of the same product just to get to the same outcome. So we want you to buy one pole, use it for the winter ice fishing. Comes summertime, you just slide your tripod right off, slide the boat mount right on, and then you're using it. There's lots of times when I'll be filming a video, whether it be in Canada on the ice and in Texas on a boat, just a couple days apart, using the same exact equipment in both situations with just a swap of the hardware onto the pole. That's the same thing that we want for our customers. This is expensive equipment. We don't want you to have to buy multiples of it, and most people aren't going to buy multiples of it. So having the portability of being able to take this entire rig anywhere you go, say that you rent a cabin up north and they just so happen to have a boat that's supplied with the cabin. Great. Bring your stuff with you, mount it right onto the boat that they have, the pontoon, whatever it is, and you're good to go. If you do a fly-in, ice fishing, a canoe, kayak, anything at all, your buddy's boat, everything that's here is going to work for you to do that with our mounting system and our open water with just one system. So last year we had 3 different lengths of poles, 18 to 36, 24 to 60, and 32 to 80. We heard from the customers, we kind of want the 18 to 36 for early ice, but we want the 24 to 60 because we want to put it on our boat. And we might go to Winnipeg, or we might do something, we have a pontoon, and so we might need to get up to that 80 inches. Well, we don't want you to have to buy 3 different lengths of poles. So basically went back to the drawing board, redesigned this thing out so that we could get to 20 inches fully collapsed, and then all the way out to 60 inches fully extended. So the most compact 60-inch pole on the market. And then if you need a little bit of extra length on this, we didn't want you to have to buy a whole nother pole or switch out the poles. So here we have our 20-inch top end extension, and this is going to go right into the top of the pole, into the red inserts that are in here. These are aluminum inserts. They're in both sides of the extension as well, so this is stackable technically. And this threads right into here. Then that gets you 80 inches of length. Take your handle, move it up to the top. You can slide your tripod up. Now you're good to go for any of those occasions at all. So another thing that we offer up is this handle extension that goes right onto any of the same handle that comes with either the all seasons ice / open water pole or the just standard open water pole handle. This handle extension will slide directly onto this handle and then tighten up. And now you have a nice padded handle. It's all carbon fiber. It weighs, I never even weighed it, but let's just say nothing because it's so light. Then this can be removed easily. So if you're in an ice shack and you want to get a little farther away, or whether you're on a boat, this is another great solution for that. So those are 2 kind of pole accessories there. Okay, just want to hit on the fact again, both the open water pole and the all seasons or ice pole are exactly the same product. The only difference is with the all seasons, we include the tripod. If you were going to just use it on the boat, say you're one of our customers that's down south and you're like, never going to go ice fishing, don't even want it. That's perfectly fine. And then we give you the option to buy it without the tripod. If you're, again, one of those and the bucket list trip comes up and you're going to go ice fishing for the first time, whatever, you can add the tripod at any time. No problem at all. It'll just slide right on. If you buy it as a combo like this with the tripod, technically it's a $20 discount on the actual tripod itself. So that's just kind of the perk there. So having said all of that, let's get into how we mount this stuff up. Because just like we said here, we don't want you to have to buy 2 of everything. Same thing goes into all the actual mounting of the transducers themselves. When you purchase your pole, you're going to get a package like this. And everything that comes in this package will fit all the different types of forward-facing sonar transducers with exception of the Eagle Eye, and we'll touch base on that in a minute. So inside this package, you're going to have your 3-pack of cable clips, your different transducer knob. So it'll come with one red knob, and then it'll come with different bolts for different transducers. Now this is a new system that I designed that has the different bolts, and they're actually gun drilled on the inside and tapped from at the head. And then they are interchangeable with the actual red knob. I do this so that we can easily provide new bolts for new transducers or new designs that come out. And you can just use your same red aluminum knob head on there. This way we can give you one for the LVS34 and so forth and so forth. So let's go ahead and get started on one of these transducer installs here, because I want to go over each one of the actual transducer mounts. So up here I have it kind of set up as the different types. This knob here is what you would get with your LVS34. This is the knob we're going to replace because these have a tendency to crack in the plastic. So I'm just going to put this one off to the side for now. Okay, so we're going to go over the different specific transducer mounting for each individual transducer model. First off, the package that all this hardware comes in, there is written out instructions right here on the back of it. In addition, there's a QR code. If you scan that QR code with your phone's camera, it'll pop up a little link, and that'll bring you right to the area where this video is posted. Inside the package is going to be the MegaLive adapter disc. Okay, has the single tooth on it. This will go MegaLive 1 and 2. Either 3 or 4 rubber washers, depending. One of them might be a thicker one that's equal to 2 of them. Otherwise, there might be 4 of these in here. A small Allen wrench and a small screw. And then, of course, your aluminum transducer knob. And then the 3 different bolts for the different transducers. So LVS34, and these are laser etched right onto the heads of them. You may not be able to see it here depending on if it focuses. MegaLive, which is the middle length, and it says MegaLive right on it. And then this is LVS32, and then Active Target 1 and 2 as well. And again, they're written right on the heads of all of these. You can see these bolts, they look a little strange. They have a hole in the top side of them that's tapped. That hole is for this small screw. Reason being is because this one single knob attaches to the different screws. So that you can use this and change these into it. The reason we do this is because people upgrade transducers. They change transducers. They buy a Garmin, they switch into Humminbird later. They buy a Humminbird, switch into Garmin later, or Active Target, vice versa. We don't want you to have to go out and buy new parts for your pole the day before you have to leave for a trip, just because you either upgraded or changed. We just want you to have all the hardware you need when you buy the pole. So just keep the stuff around because you don't know how it's going to progress over time. So first thing we're going to do is we'll do the LVS34 first, since most people are probably here for that one. So LVS34 is going to be the long M8 bolt. Then you have the aluminum head. Okay, you will take the aluminum head and the bolt, and you put the actual bolt into the side of it that does not have any writing on it, does not have the logo. Then we're going to take the small screw, and it goes in through the top side, like this. And then we're just going to simply tighten this up. This has red Loctite on it, so once you get this set in place, it's going to hold on there and not come out until you want it to. So you can do that and then just give it a little snug up, and that'll stay perfectly in there. Now you have a nice knob for your LVS34. For LVS34, one single rubber washer. Push it all the way down to the bottom against the head, and that's where it lives. Now, we grab the LVS34 transducer from over here, and our transducer mount. This pattern and that insert inside are for the LVS34. This pattern is also for Active Target 1 and 2 and LVS32. So we are going to simply take our transducer and our mount, and we put them together like this. The white line on top of here goes with these 3 notches that are on the actual transducer mount. Sorry if it's hard to see. The center notch right here and the white line, when they're lined up, that is down mode. Depending on how you have it, one of these other two, the one in the front and the back, will be forward mode, lined up with this white line, and I'll show you that in a second. So we're gonna put your knob like this for the LVS34 directly through the entire transducer. So in one side, out the other. Doesn't really matter which direction, to be honest with you. Okay, then you're gonna put your transducer mount up against here, and you're going to tighten this up until it just kind of makes contact. Then we're going to ratchet this guy up into place. Now as it sits right here, that's down mode. This surface is shooting straight down level, and that's down mode. So this knob is designed to loosen when you adjust and tighten. The reason I do this is because this is all just hand operation. You don't have to have a tool with you at any time when you're out there fishing. So the cord end of the transducer is the back. This end being the front. So when you're in forward mode, you will click this back just like so. So this being your pole level going upward. Now the white line is lined up with the notch towards the back. Cord end down. Front side, there's a little sensor in here too. Front side is up. So now, as it sits here just like so, this surface is level. This one is shooting is your intermediate middle beam. And then on the back side here, this beam is shooting way far out. That's forward mode LVS34. And then kind of like we talked about before, we will take our D pin that goes to connect to the pole, take our cable, and it goes right through the loop of the D pin. And then that prevents any kind of tension from being pulled on the transducer connection itself. So that will keep that just like this, nice and safe. LVS32. You're going to find the bolt here that says LVS32 or active target 1 and 2. Again, we're going to take the knob, the non-logoed side, and the screw, and we're going to put them together. Then you take your small screw and you put it right into here, and you tighten that up together. Once you have that done, you take your one single rubber washer and you place it onto the knob, just right up against the surface, just like this. This will go directly through the backside of the transducer, and then your LVS32 pattern here is the same, and it will bolt directly to the transducer, threading directly into the threads on the transducer. Now, I recommend using some anti-seize or some kind of lubricant on here. This is a stainless bolt, that's a stainless insert. It should be fine, but I still recommend using a little bit of anti-seize material. So again, here's this. Now, the stock hardware that Garmin uses to attach this to their mount is a shoulder bolt. The shoulder bolts, they have a tendency to loosen up depending if you got them really torqued down or not. And what happens is when that loosens up when you're out on the ice, most people don't have the Allen wrench with them, and then you're stuck with the transducer flopping around and it just ruins your day. This deal here is a hand operation, again. So as long as you got one hand between the group of you that's out there, you can tighten this thing back up. So super simple to adjust. Now with this transducer, this surface here, when it's level with the surface of the water, this is level, that's forward mode. When for down mode, it will be clicked forward like so. So for this transducer, when the top surface here is level, this is forward mode. This is the front of the transducer. Where the wire is considered the back of the transducer. So that is forward mode. For down mode, you simply loosen this a little bit and then you click it forward, one click, so that the front end is downward. Now, this middle element here is level. That is considered down mode. Wire side is up, the front part is pointing downward, one click. Now, Garmin uses a very soft, wide pattern for their clicking mechanism, so you can get away with adjusting this without loosening this knob up. When we get to the Humminbird mount here in a minute, that's not the case. So this is LVS32 with the knob. That's how you mount this. I don't have an active target transducer, but I'm going to just kind of show you. The active target 1 and 2 looks like this Garmin LVS34, except for it does not have a through hole. It has an insert in it. So essentially, it mounts exactly the same as the LVS32, like this, with it has the threads in it. And it does the same thing, use the same knob as the LVS32. It's labeled LVS32 and active target 1 and 2. Those go on together just like that, and they screw together, and that's your mounting for active target 1 and 2. MegaLive 1 and 2. First thing you're going to do is you're going to find the bolt that it says MegaLive right on it, okay? That bolt works for MegaLive 1 and 2. This is the pattern that Humminbird uses here. A lot of teeth, and they're pretty sharp, fine teeth. This is the pattern that Garmin and Lowrance use. Less teeth, and they're rolling hills. So this is why it clicks a lot easier than this very sharp-toothed method, all right? So first thing we're gonna do is find the bolt. We're gonna find the same thing. We're gonna find the head, the knob, and our small bolt. We put the MegaLive bolt directly into the notch on the back side of this, and then we're going to tighten it on there with our hex wrench. Okay, so now that we have that, this is MegaLive 2. This insert location, as you can see it, is flush. MegaLive 1 protrudes outward. So this insert sticks out like a nub. They changed this for MegaLive 2. They pushed it back in. That changes the length of the bolt, obviously. So there's a couple challenges with that. In addition to changing the location here, they changed this pattern. They didn't change how many teeth there are. They just rotated the pattern by half of a tooth. So I know, that's just as annoying as it sounds. So MegaLive 1 was essentially the valley of the teeth on the transducer was straight up and level, or vertical, I should say. And then MegaLive 2, the actual peak of the tooth here is centered and vertical. So this little tooth on our transducer adapter coincides with our actual transducer mount. Hopefully I can really get this in here. So on this transducer mount, these are the new ones that we have coming right now. We just haven't received them yet. It's written inside there, MegaLive 1, MegaLive 2 for these little insets. All right. You might get a mount where it doesn't have anything written in there yet. That's okay. Just remember this. It's going to be just like that. So as you're looking at the transducer mount, so you can see you're currently looking at the back. I'm looking at the face of it. As I'm looking at it, and you are also on your side, MegaLive 1 is on the left-hand side. So as you're looking at the pattern here that you're going to put this onto, and you're going to insert this little tooth here into one of these two notches, for MegaLive 1, you're going to insert that into the left slot. Okay. Once that is inserted into there, oh man, it's going to be difficult to see. Black on black on black. The tooth for this is here, right inside there. Once you have it in that place, this is for MegaLive 1. Once you have it in here, you're going to use all of the rubber washers that you have. Okay? There should be 4 or there should be 3 and one's thicker. Either way. The reason for this is because there's a discrepancy in the location of that actual insert on some transducers. In addition, MegaLive 1 had an issue with those actual inserts pulling out. So depending on your certain transducer, depending on what it is, where that location really is, you want to use all these washers. So we have our bolt here. We have our washers. We're going to stack them all right onto this. Just stack them all right onto there. So it's like this. Then this goes right through the back of the entire mounting apparatus here, slides right through all of it like that. This is going to end up going right onto the transducer like this, okay, for MegaLive 1. Then you just tighten this down. You cannot change this transducer without loosening this knob. The teeth are way too sharp and way too pointy on the Mega transducer. It won't do it. You'll just end up breaking something. So that's MegaLive 1. If when you're putting that transducer knob on, you get to a point where it feels like it's tight, but this isn't tight together yet, just stop and you can message us directly, whatever we need, because we'll figure that out. Like I said, there's discrepancies in that insert for some reason. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do MegaLive 2. All the washers come off except for one. We're back to this now. On your transducer mount here, you're going to go into the right notch. So here I am looking at the pattern on my side. I have the tooth on this adapter. This tooth goes into the right side. The reason why we do this is because of that change they made in that one, the valley of the tooth being centered and the peak of the tooth. It just so happens to coincide with the pattern that Garmin and Lowrance use by us moving in a certain amount of clicks. That lines up and realigns this pattern for MegaLive 2. And being in this notch realigns the pattern for MegaLive 1. It's changing that transducer a little bit, but the last thing in the world I wanted was for somebody to buy a new MegaLive 2. They're super excited about it. They mount it up and they take a look at that transducer and it's just barely tilted. And to some people that makes all the difference in the world and they lose their confidence in the product over that. So that's something I definitely don't want the customer to have to deal with. So this is why all new injection mold, all this stuff, like 3 new molds to fix that one problem of them moving that, but just half a tooth. So back to this, the tooth, and it goes into the MegaLive 2 or ML2 marked side. If yours is marked, which is going to be, you're looking at it, it's on the right-hand side. I'm going to put my tooth into that, just like this. I'm going to put my knob with the MegaLive bolt directly through the back of the transducer mount. So here's my mount. Here's this going through, one washer. You can see the threads protrude out through the front now, here. Okay. Then these two go together. You notice how nothing else is in between here. The Humminbird flip mount, the Scout bracket, anything else that they send you is not in between here. We get this a lot. You'd be surprised. We get it a lot. So you have your transducer and all of our stuff. That's it. And that's for MegaLive 1 and 2, okay? Nothing else in between here. So we're going to take this, we're going to push it together, and we're just going to tighten this up. Okay, now, if you were to look at the back of this, you'll notice that the transducer, the mount itself, is perfectly vertical. The bottom of this is perfectly vertical. That's exactly how it should be. If we have this in the MegaLive 1 slot, this is going to be just tilted a little bit. So this will not be a perpendicular angle here. So you can check that. Now, forward or down mode. That's down mode, you're looking at it. It's pointed straight down. That big surface on the bottom is pointed straight down. That's down mode. Forward mode. You're going to loosen this up and then you're going to move this. And the entire my mount and my disc all turn. Now you can hear when you do this, the Garmins don't sound like that, right? That's because the amount of teeth that are in there, and they're so pointy and sharp, there's just no real good way to do it. That's also part of the reason why they're losing inserts on the other one, is because it's just too aggressive. So when you look at this, you're going to line this up at a 45. So this lines up with the corner. I'll do it this way for you too. Like this, okay? That's forward mode. This is the front. That's this way. That's forward mode. All right, so for the, I believe it's landscape or scout, I think it's scout mode with Humminbird. You can go back towards your down mode here. Hitting this guy back up. And then this is going to loosen, flip up, and this is where you can do this. All right. This is a locking transducer mount that locks in at a 90 degrees like this. But then when you pull it up, it comes out and it comes around. And this is exactly the same for Garmin and Lowrance and all of them here. It's the same exact mount. So you can bring it up, you can slide it back and relax it down. And this is going to be like the manufacturer set angle. Or you can slide it forward and then you have all this adjustability here to really pinpoint in that depth of water that you want to be in. So, you know, you might be fishing a little bit deeper water and you're going to say, all right, well, that's perfect for me. Or just give it a little bump. That's actually perfect for me. Depending on the depth of water, you're focusing that where the beam is more intense in that area. Without that adjustability, you're pretty much, you know, 10 feet and shallower use. But we can get to deeper water with this mode, with all the transducers, by having adjustability. Eagle Eye is the only transducer mount that does not come with the pole from factory here. So we don't include the mounting for Eagle Eye. This adapter here inside, this is the Eagle Eye adapter. This is just a dummy transducer that I printed out, but Eagle Eye has a different deal. There's a circle and there's a cross peg in there, like a keyway, and it goes in. Well, it looks just like this actually. Okay, and it goes in and it tightens down, and that's it. You never adjust this angle, so it's just a set angle. All right, so now that we have all that done, I just want to go over a few other things quick. So the cable clamps or the cable clips. A couple things with these. These are designed to hold extremely well onto the pole, but in the event that you pull very hard, that they will come off. I do not design products just solely for what the customer wants. There's a lot of times the customer wants something, but they don't know the outcome that might occur if they get that exact thing. If I make cable clips that just hold your cable to this pole 100% and cannot come off, in the event that you pull on that cord extremely hard, it's going to bend your wire at a 90 degree angle, and it's going to break what's called the reference wires inside the transducer, or can break the reference wires. This is what people see when they have a ghost tree that they cannot get rid of on their screen. This is a very, very probable leading cause to that happening. Those reference wires are sensing the pileup of frequency when two transducer elements cross. And when that happens, it sends that back on the reference wire and says, hey, we have a pileup of frequency here, cancel that out. Well, they're very small wires, and when that is bent at such an angle, that outside radius of the wire is longer than the inside radius, so it stretches that and it can break that little wire inside. I don't want that to happen. So, as I've said many, many times, I try to design problem-solving products, not problem-creating products. So, these cable clips, in the event that you pull on that cable harder than I think, which will be a lot harder than last year's clips, put it that way. But regardless, for winter, I personally do not use cable clips at all. The reason being is because you have a lot more movement of the cable for ice fishing without the cable clip. So here we have clips on. I put my transducer onto the actual mount, and then I run this cable right through the D-ring here. And then that's it. So you have your transducer on, and then it goes through the D-ring, and then you cannot put any pressure onto the actual transducer cord portion of it there. That's really, really important. And then also what happens is, now that your cord has flexibility to move, when you're scanning, your cable has many times that it can wrap around this thing and then unwrap. If you bring it up to here and just tie it onto this point, that cable can only move a very short distance before it just binds up. So for ice fishing, it's a lot better just to have movement and flexibility in that cable. For open water, absolutely. Cable clip them things up on there, tighten them down, and then they'll stay put just where they're supposed to be. All right, now, one other thing that we want to go over, freeze up. Okay, couple things about this. You put anything in and out of the water enough times in below freezing temperatures, it's going to freeze up. That's all there is to it. Spent a lot of time over the summer problem solving, designing different methods inside these poles to prevent freeze up. So I went with a hardened nylon material inside of the poles that really resists that sticking and freezing. So that's one thing. Now, in the event that you're out there and you have your pole in there, okay, you take it out, you set it down, some water freezes up inside of here while you're moving from A to B or whatever, you can't adjust it. This is very important. Just put it back in the water. I know it sounds like the opposite of what you're going to want to do, but that liquid water is warmer than the solid water that's inside this pole. Literally 5 seconds in the hole, and this will be completely thawed and it'll be totally movable again. So things not to do. Don't put it in the exhaust of your truck. Don't put it up against your buddy heater. Don't put it on the dash and turn your heat in your Silverado to 11 to try to thaw it out. All things not to do. Just put it back in the hole, in the water, and it will be totally movable in a matter of seconds. So, going over all that, I do definitely appreciate the support, appreciate the confidence in the products, and you guys have just been amazing for us, and hopefully that we've been holding up to our end of the deal as well. So if you have any questions at all, definitely throw them our way. If you have any product ideas or different things that you're thinking that might be something that we could make, go ahead, definitely throw it our way, and we will see you out there. Thank you.